Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today is 30th of June and it is Monday. It is Ashada Masa or Vamana Masa, Sukla Paksham and Panchami Tithi. So there are no Vaishnavins in the calendar. So we shall quickly move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudeva. Hare Krishna. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, Buddha was speaking to Vidura. How Uddhava was speaking to Krishna. So when before Krishna's departure from this material world. So during that time, so Maitreya Rishi, he has come by his own accord, by his previous Ajnata Sukriti. So he has come on his own accord to that point. And he has seen Krishna and also Buddha, and while they were conversing with so much humbleness, he was hearing attentively whatever Krishna is speaking to Buddha. So Buddha is mentioning yesterday, Tasmin Mahabhagavata Dvaipayana Sukritsaka Lokan Anucharan Siddha Asatada Yadrichaya. So Maitreya Rishi is the friend of Vyasadeva, and he is also Mahabhagavata. He has spoken Bhagavatam to Vidura for around two and a half cantos, around two and a half cantos. So he spoke completely, so much of knowledge in it. So he is considered Mahabhagavato Dvaipayana Sukritsaka Lokan Anucharan Siddha Asasada Yadrichaya. While he was wandering throughout the world, Lokan Anucharan Siddha. Siddha is also there is again Siddhashrama is also there, but while he was wandering, so he has come to the point where Krishna and Buddha has been meeting and conversing, Yadrichaya, by his own accord. So after saying that, today Buddha is mentioning to Vidura that, oh Vidura, when Krishna was speaking to me with so much very humbly, with gentle smiles and with love and affection, and he allowed me to sit properly and taking rest. So, and Krishna speaking to me at that time, Maitreya Rishi, he was so much attached to Krishna, and then with so much humbleness, he has lowered his shoulders and then hearing whatever Krishna is saying very attentively. Okay, so likewise, Uddhava was saying to Vidura. So we are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 4, verse number 10. तस्यान्धस्य मुनेर्मुकुन्दः प्रमोदभाव आनतकण्डरस्य अशृण्वतो माम् अनुरागः सा समीक्षया विश्रमयन् उवाच तस्यानुरक्तस्य मुनेर्मुकुन्दः tasya, so that Maitreya Rishi, Anuraktasya Munir Mukundaha, he is although attached to Krishna, Munehe, he is a great sage. So Maitreya Rishi is a sage. Tasyanuraktasya Munehe Mukundaha. So he is attached to the Lord who awards our salvation. Mukunda means Muktim Dadati, who gives the liberation. So that's why he is called Mukunda. Mukunda, the Lord who awards salvation. Pramoda Bhava in a pleasing attitude. So Maitreya Rishi, as soon as if anyone come in contact with Krishna, they will all be very pleased. Even though it is the opposite element also, they will be very pleased in the heart. So here, Pramoda Bhava. So Maitreya Rishi is very pleasing attitude. Anata Kandarasya, he has lowered his shoulders. Anata Kandarasya. When we are offering humble obeisances, first of all, we bend in front of the sannyasis, other brahmanas, and deity, in front of the deity, spiritual master. We just lower our shoulders and then bend our head, and then in such a way, we offer obeisances. Here, Anata Kandarasya. Even though he is a great sage, he has lowered and his shoulder with respect to Krishna. And then Ashranvato, he was while thus hearing. So when Krishna and Uddhava are talking, so Krishna is speaking to Uddhava, so he is now very attentively hearing. Ashrinvato Mam Anuraga Hasa Samikshaya. And O Vidura, when Krishna was speaking, Mam Anuraga Hasa, with affection, Hasa with smiling, Samikshayam, and particularly seeing me. So Krishna sees, he is always affectionate to the devotees. So great sages and all, they have got some kind of mixed devotion and also mixed monism. So devotees, they have completely surrendered to the Lord. So Lord, so that is sadhava hridayam mahyam sadhunam hridayam tuham madanyante najanante naham tebhyo managapi. Devotees, they do not know except the Lord. Lord does not know anyone except his devotees. In such a way, he has affectionately exchanged the loving relationships. Anuraga hasa samikshaya. Okay, particularly seeing Uddhava. When Krishna is speaking particularly towards Uddhava, at the time, Maitri Rishi, he is simply lowering his hand, lowering his shoulders and hearing whatever Krishna is speaking to Uddhava. And Vishramayan Uvacha, and allowing Uddhava to rest properly. And then Krishna spoke to Uddhava. तस्यानुरक्तस्य मुनिर्मुकुन्दः प्रमोदभाव आनतकन्दरस्य अश्रुणतो माम् अनुरागहास समीक्षय विश्रमयन् उवाच. Translation. Maitreya Muni was greatly attached to him, the Lord, and he was listening in a pleasing attitude, with his shoulder lowered. With a smile and particular glance upon me, having allowed me to rest, the Lord spoke as follows. Purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please, can I request Gauranga Mataji to read this purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji, please.
Although both Uddhava and Maitreya were great souls, the Lord's attention was more on Uddhava because he was a spotlessly pure devotee. A Yana Bhakta, or one whose devotion is mixed with monastic viewpoint, is not a pure devotee. Although Maitreya was a devotee, his devotion was mixed. The Lord reciprocates with his devotees on the basis of transcendental love, and not on the basis of philosophical knowledge or fruitive activities. In the transcendental loving service of the Lord, there is no place for monastic knowledge or fruitive activities. The gopis in Vrindavana were neither highly learned scholars nor mystic yogis. They had spontaneous love for the Lord, and thus he became their heart and soul. And the gopis also became the heart and soul of the Lord. Lord Chaitanya approved the relationship of gopis with the Lord as supreme. Herein the Lord's attitude towards Uddhava was more intimate than with Maitreya Muni. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, although both Uddhava and Maitreya were great souls, and so Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he mentions, Ye yata amam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamyaham mama vatmanu vartante manusyaha padda sarvashaham. Whoever is approaching the Lord in whatever the mood, Lord reciprocates in the similar way. Ye yata amam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamyaham. Some people, you say this, they wanted to have knowledge and just only satisfied with the monism or little bit of knowledge. But devotees, they are completely surrendered souls unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so the different attitudes. So Lord, in similarly, he reciprocates with his devotees. But though he is equal to everyone, Samoham sarvabhuteshu न मे द्वेषोऽस्ति न प्रियः सम सम aham sarvabhuteshu. I am equal to everyone, equally disposed to everyone. Samoham sarvabhuteshu. Sarvabhuteshu, not only the humans or great souls, it is all the living entities. It doesn't matter whether that living entity has got a cat body, dog body, or aquatics body, beast, birds, and everything, snake body. Lord is equal to all the living entities. Sarvabhuteshu. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priyah. There is no one Lord hates or no one he likes. Name dvesho asti na priyah. So that is Lord is equally disposed to every living entity. But he is saying, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayite teshu chapyaham. And whoever is only doing my bhajan, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, devotees, surrendered complete unto me, who is doing manmana bhavat bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam ye vaisisi yuktayum atmanam matparayanaha. Such kind of my devotees, ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, maite teshu chapyaham. I also reciprocate with those devotees. Maite teshu chapyaham. I also reciprocate in the similar way. So here, although both Uddhava and Maitreya were great souls, the Lord's attention was more on Uddhava because he has served the Lord all of his life, accompanying all of his life with the Krishna. Uddhava is Krishna's uncle's son. So Uddhava, because he was a spotlessly pure devotee. A Jnat Bhakta or one whose devotion is mixed with monistic viewpoint is not a pure devotee. So here, a pure devotees again mentioned. The Lord says, Maya ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti dhram. Maya ananyena bhavena bhaktim kurvanti dhram. Kurvanti bhaktim dhram. So he performs devotion with unflinching devotion and determination. That is, matkrute chakta karmanaha chakta swajana bandhavaha. He leave all his personal activities also. Matkrute, for my sake. Matkrute karmana. He leave all kinds of activities. That is my devotee. Chakta sojana bandhava. Even he will leave his own men and his own families. That is my devotee. Madashriya katha mrushtaha firnvanti katayanti cha tapanti vivistapa naitan madgata chetasaha. And they will take to my katha. Madashriya katha mrushtaha. And they take shelter of me and they hear my katha, my pastimes. Madashriya katha shrunvanti katayanti cha. They will hear and they will speak about my pastimes. In such a way, tapanti vividstapa naitan madgata chetasaha. They would not experience the material miseries of this material world. This is Adi Bhautik, Adi Daivik, Adi Adhyatmik. These are the three kinds of miseries everyone goes through and they are tortured by the material nature. Okay. The problems within the body and problems outside the body and problems by the material nature. There are so many problems. Even though we don't harm anyone, they will come and disturb unnecessarily. For example, mosquitoes. So likewise, and again, some diseases come unnecessarily, of course, unless if we do not take any precautions about the body. So they happen automatically. Okay, so this is whose devotion is mixed with the monistic viewpoint. So again, here, a pure devotee does not, he is completely surrendered soul onto the Lord. One has to, in our day-to-day life, one has to pray that I want to associate with the pure devotees of the Lord. Sangahateshu atide prajyaha sangadosha harahite. So this is sangahateshu atide prajyaha. One has to pray atide prajyaha, that one has to have devotion because devotees are sarva sanga vivajjitaha. They do not have any materialistic happiness. They are wanted to associate with the Lord, engage themselves in the devotional service. In such a way, they derive most pleasure. And their sense objectives are only attracting to serve Krishna, to please Krishna's senses. Hrishikesha Hrishikena what is that shloka? So, Hrushikesha Sevanam. So, sorry. Hrushikesha, so that means the Hrushikesha is Krishna, Hrushikena is the senses. When they are engaged in the senses, that is Bhakti Ruttama, that is called devotional service. Okay, so although Maitreya was a devotee, his devotion was mixed. The Lord reciprocates with his devotee on the basis of transcendental love and not on the basis of philosophical knowledge or fruitive activities. So this is Jnana Karma Anavritam. So one has to, whenever uh, he is serving Jnana Karma Anavritam, irrespective of karma and jnana, he is always engaging in the devotional service. Anukulyena Krishnanuselanam. Only his service is favorable to Krishna, Krishna's desires, not on the philosophical or fruitive activities. It is based on the devotion to the Lord. Okay, so this is transcendental love towards Krishna. Okay, so in the transcendent loving service of the Lord, there is no place for monistic knowledge or fruitive activities. Monistic knowledge means it is a aham brahmasmi, everything is Brahma, there is no beyond that. That is called monistic knowledge. Aham brahmasmi, and everything is Brahma, you are Brahma, I am Brahma, everyone is, of course, but beyond that, there is a Brahmeti, Paramatmiti, Bhagavaniti Sajjate. Beyond Brahma, there is a Paramatma's realization, and beyond that, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the basis for everything, who is basis for Paramatma, who is the basis for this Brahma Jyoti. Okay, so that is, there is no place for monistic knowledge or fruitive activities in the transcendent loving service of the Lord. So the gopis in Vrindavana were neither highly learned scholars nor mystic yogis. They have got a natural inclination. So they had spontaneous love for the Lord, and thus he became their heart and soul, and the gopis also became the heart and soul of the Lord. So this is whenever Krishna says, speaking to gopis, that my bhaktir bhutanam amritattvaya kalpate, and devotion unto me, O gopis, it is amritatvaya kalpate, it is the nectarian, and it is a eternal amritatvaya kalpate. Dischayarasmin matsneho bhavatinam cha bhavatinam madapanaha. So because in order to awake more love towards me, I have disappeared from you for the time being. Likewise, Krishna says to gopis, gopis were asking, "Oh Krishna, why did you disappear from us like that?" Then Krishna says this statement later on once he returns back to the gopis. So to awaken the love from the heart of the gopis more and more. Already they are devoted to the Lord. So in such a way, gopis, they do not know anything except Krishna. Krishna also reciprocates in such a way with the gopis, heart and soul of the Lord, and also the gopis. So this is the most highest transcendent relation. There is no personal self gratifications of gopis here. It's a big devotion. Lord Chaitanya approved the relationship of the gopis with the Lord as supreme. This is the supreme. We have got five rasas. What is the Santa rasa, Dasya rasa, and Sakya rasa, Vashalya rasa, and Madhura rasa. Madhura is the sweet relationships with the Lord. That is the gopis, the relationship of the gopis with the Lord as supreme. So here in the Lord's attitude towards Uddhava was more intimate than with the Maitreya Muni. That's why Krishna was looking at Uddhava, Mam Anuraga Hasa Samikshaya. And then Vishramayan Guvacha, he is speaking to Uddhava. Okay, likewise, how that situation has happened, Uddhava is now relaying that message to Vidura. Okay, so that is from this Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is again one picture of this one. Krishna speaks to Uddhava. Let me just show that one. Um, the time is okay. This is the right picture. So Krishna is speaking here to Uddhava. Uddhava is approaching Krishna with when Krishna was sitting under the peepal tree, Ashwatha tree, and then Maitri is also following here, and then he is going to hear attentively when Krishna is speaking. So this picture also we could see properly. So here Uddhava is here, Maitri Rishi, he is humbly hearing whenever Krishna is speaking to Uddhava. This is Tasyanuraktasya Munirmukundah Pramodabhava Anatakandarasya Ashrunato Mam Anuragahasa Samikshaya Vishramayan Bhuvacham. So Krishna's glance is on Uddhava. Maitreya Rishi is simply hearing. Okay, that is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam Kichya. Okay, so we shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today, letter to Bhagavan, September 19th, 1970, Calcutta. Can I request Gaurangi Mataji to read this letter?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay. My dear Bhagavan Das, please accept my blessing. I am in receipt of your letter dated 8:30:70, and I have noted the contents carefully. Yes, you are current that anything outside of Krishna consciousness insanity. Uh, and I am glad that you are realizing it more and more. Similarly, I have been getting letters from um Karana Karanadhara, Rupanuga, and Hagriva, telling how they are feeling new uh, assurance in Krishna consciousness. So if so if our GBC members remain strong, strictly um, following the regulative principles, everything will be all right. Please continue to travel among the centers and preach as much as possible. I am pleased to know that you have fully distributed your money to my book fund and BTG, and as you are experiencing, Krishna will send you more. We should know if will that Krishna is no poor man, and he can give us any amount at any time. Simply, he is waiting to see that we will use it according to his desire. So, the more we spend in his service, the more he will provide rest assured. Hope this will meet you in good health. Your ever will wisher. इसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Any points Mataji wanted to highlight in this letter?
Yes, Prabhupada saying the Bhagwan Dasa ever Krishna conscience, and um, he Prabhupada, yeah. Uh, uh, Prabhupada glad to them. Then he said, "You realize more and more," and he sent letter for Karuna Dhara, Rupanuga, and Hagriva, and uh, they feeling Krishna consciousness. Then um, I can say Prabhuji. Then other paragraph is uh, he send he telling you spend money for a book bit easy. So if um, we spend money, you spend money, or Krishna will give you more and more like that. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely explained. Thank you so much. Any other comments, dear devotees, you wanted to add to this letter? Any questions? So that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. So here Prabhupada mentions anything outside of Krishna consciousness is insanity. Okay, so and here Prabhupada appreciating Bhagwan Das because he is now completely Krishna consciousness and realizing it more and more. Krishna consciousness, happiness. Chant and be happy, always happy. And among the devotees association, anything outside is there is a sometimes we maybe get attracted by something materialistic things and then it is giving some sensual pleasures and later on immediately we would experience some hard times that one can practically see it but he cannot control himself for that moment going to enjoy that material sensual pleasures. Okay, so but here Prabhupada is mentioning one more point is that um, GBC members remain strong and strictly following the regulative principles. Everything will be all right. So this is very important when Yadachariti Sreshtaha Tatta Deve Thuro Naraha Tait Pramanam Kurute Lokaha Tadanuvartate. So when the GBs, the leaders are perfect, then everyone follow them. If he is a sannyasi, if he is following all the regulative principles and chant and then spreading Krishna consciousness, then everyone will follow his instructions and in his footsteps. But if he falls down, even though, for example, if he is staying there in Krishna consciousness for 50 years, and then if he falls down due to Maya towards some kind of fall down from the regulative principle, then what happens to all the followers behind him? Well, that is, one should be very careful. If a GBC member should be, he must be strictly following the regulative principles until he leaves the body. It is not only his life. A leader, it is not only his life. His life is meant for so much. His life is meant for Krishna. His life is meant for leading so many other followers, disciples and followers and many people. It is not just simply his for his sense gratification. Sometimes if he falls down, he must be very careful on it. So, but here Prabhupada is mentioning, please continue to travel among those centers and preach as much as possible. So why I have mentioned this is again just it is generally we so follow the regulative principles again it is the same statement. So yesterday I was hearing one of the statements from Bhakti Vikas Swami that one of the devotee he has been there for 50 years and then he was falling to Maya, something like that probably Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj mentioned. So one must be very careful not to come in contact with any feminine nature at any point of time. Never it should be done. If a sannyasi is there and he has disciple accompanying him, a disciple must make sure that the sannyasi should not meet any woman at any point of time in a lonely place. It doesn't matter what the relation it is. So this is very carefully to be considered. But of course, so what about that person? Because he has executed, again he will be revived. But the faith that so many disciples and followers are following that Maharaj or Sannyasi, it will slacken. That's why we need to be very careful. But from his point of view, Apijes Rudracharo, Bhajate mam ananya bhak sadharev samantavyah. So Krishna says that one has to still consider him as a sannyasi or sadhu only. But what about the faith that so many disciples and followers have developed? That must be very important. So for the value's sake, we have to live. For the Krishna's pleasure's sake, we have to live. Not for if you are not able to control, stay in the Grihastha. Stay in the Grihastha. Do not to go beyond it. So that's why Krishna mentions sannyasa means it is not only wearing the dress. It is यदा संहरति चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गनीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. So just detach from the sense objectives. Not you can still eat, you can still live with your family and wife and children, but at the same time you need to always keep yourself in the equipoised position that nothing is permanent in this world, and then engage in the devotional service gradually. And one day when our bodies does not disturb us anymore for the sensual pleasures, then we can leave the home, enter into the vanaprastha or sannyasa ashramas. If we think that my senses are just like the snakes, if you are giving as much quantity as sense gratification, then they will be in the control. If it is too less, they will make us disturb. If it is too much, then they will put us into troubles. In so many ways, we have to give the senses as much as needed. That's all. Not too much or not too low. As we were going through those purports before. Okay, so that is very important. That's why GBC members remain strong and strictly following the regulative principles. Everything will be all right. So now, if something happens, what about the society's prestige? And it is very highest society in this world at the moment, spiritual society. What you are not thinking about the society prestige or followers and disciples. What is your value? That one has to think before he does anything. Always stay with the disciples and devotees, many disciples. Never ever come in contact with the feminine nature in the lonely places. It doesn't matter either, Prabhupada mentioning, either daughter or a mother or anyone else like that. Okay, so likewise, Prabhupada is mentioning to follow the rules very strictly. And about again, distributed your money to my book fund and BTG as you are experiencing. Krishna will send you more. As soon as we spend, that is true. We spend as much as for Krishna, Krishna will give us more and more. Krishna knows Krishna is not a poor man. He does not want our money. But if we give any amount to Krishna, Krishna will reciprocate. Atmaram, Atmaram, Atmaramस्य पूर्णकामं निजलाभेन नित्यदा तत्रोपनीत भयो रवेद्दीपिं वादृताः आत्मारामं पूर्णकामं निजलाभेन नित्यदा. Just like we are giving lamp to the sun god, he doesn't need any lamp. He is bright. Likewise, we don't need to give it to Krishna. He is Atmaram. Nijalabhe nityada. It is only for our benefit's sake. Okay, so simply he is waiting to see that we will use it according to Krishna's desire. So the more we spend in his service, the more he will provide. Rest assured. So likewise, Prabhupada is instructing, writing letter to Bhagavan Das. Okay, this is my reflection from this letter. Okay, so that is any other comments, dear devotees? That is Srimad Bhagavatam letter. And from the announcements point of view, so today, Monday, we have teachings of Lord Chaitanya, where we are discussing the qualities of Krishna. So it is so beautiful part. We would love to hear those qualities of Krishna. When we hear qualities of Krishna in detail, actually it is from the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. They have been embedded in the teachings of Lord Chaitanya as well. So we are going through that nectarian part. Okay, that is at 8 p.m. Okay, and tomorrow, Tuesday, is a preaching practice session with Prabhavati Sachi Mataji. Okay, these are updates for me. And the devotees, if you have got any updates or you want to share anything on Krishna consciousness, kindly share. Hare Krishna. If there are no updates, then we shall conclude and continue with further chapter. पञ्चकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानं पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Thank you, Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna consciousness everyone.
Jai Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna.